fans and people who live in the state of Iowa should, like, especially fans of Iowa football, do they have a right to be frustrated with Gary Barta or upset at Gary Barta? I mean, when you look back and you think, man, how many millions of dollars have we had to fork over because you can't manage an athletic department? I mean, it is ridiculous. It's I mean, one thing after another, and I think that's, maybe that is what ends up costing Gary Barta his job, but I'll have to believe it. I'll have to see it to believe it.
Well, I don't follow the other sports, and Iowa football is, of course, successful to a degree. Therefore, I'm not in a position to evaluate Gary Barta. However, we talked to Steve Dace a few weeks ago, who obviously is not impressed by Gary Barta, believes that he shouldn't be the AD at Iowa, and others feel the same way. Now, our guy, John Diadamo, is letting us know that at the point that you peeked in at the show yesterday, that must have been Erica who was calling. Our friend Erica called the show, and this was not like a media person. This was Erica who may have called Barta the worst AD in the world or whatever was stated.
Yeah, Erica, I think, has made her feelings on Gary Barta quite clear over the course of months and even years.
Gary Barta obviously is responsible for the hiring of the coaches, meaning the coach, the head coach, and then depending on the AD in that particular situation and the tenure of the head coach may have some say into the hiring of assistant coaches, but certainly not at this point with Kirk. So the success and or failure of these programs, which we're looking at a very successful season for both the men's and the women's teams, obviously Barta at this point has nothing to do with that other than his role is to provide them with as much support as is needed to compete.
At
the Big Ten level.
He's really supporting them, Mark. He did hire some good coaches. You got to give him credit. He hired Fran McCaffrey, who's been a good hire, although some people want him gone because he doesn't coach defense. He hired Rick Heller, who's been, by the way, the baseball team just cracked the top 25. And if I know baseball, you probably not the top of your college baseball's not the top of your radar, but to make the top 25 as a Big Ten team at Iowa is hard to do. Mm-hmm. It's just hard to do. They just broke the top 25, beat the number one team in the country a little over a week ago. So the baseball program is humming. You have track and field been very successful in recent years, winning championships. So, I mean, we talk about wrestling. I mean, they are cemented as the second best program in the country behind Penn State, and they're frustrated that they're not number one. So, I mean, I understand that perspective of things. Softball is not in a great place. Volleyball has not been in a great place for a while now. But boy, if all you have to complain about is softball and volleyball, I think we're probably doing okay. It'll be interesting to see in the coming months what happens with Barta. But at the same time, we've said this before about Brian. We've said it before regarding a lot of different things. We've had these conversations about Barta in the past. Heck, every time we've had a lawsuit, every time we've had a PR disaster prompted by Gary Barta, we've asked this question: how does Iowa retain him? Why doesn't anybody do anything? Well, I don't expect Iowa to do anything this time either. And regardless of what you want, your say is very minute in the grand. I hate to say that. It's breaking news to people. Your opinion is very minute, and Gary Barta don't care, right? As long as the money's in there, he's just fine.